Welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to break down something absolutely crucial. We're looking at an incredibly powerful model designed to solve one of the most pressing issues in African healthcare. And, this isn't just some quick band-aid fix. What we're diving into is a structurally sound, long-term blueprint that literally has the potential to protect millions of lives. So let's get right into it.
I want to start by asking a really tough but absolutely necessary question about the daily reality of medical poverty. Just picture a hardworking family for a second, right? Say, a market trader and a farmer, working tirelessly every single day to build a life. What actually happens when just one unexpected illness strikes? Well, without a safety net, literally everything they've saved can be wiped out in an instant. It's a devastating daily reality for millions. When families are totally isolated, paying entirely out of pocket, they are forced to bear 100% of the burden. This isolation forces people to delay treatment, and more often than not, it leads to total financial ruin. But if we flip the script, what if a community comes together, powered by trust? Suddenly, they create this incredible shield of collective financial protection. It's a huge, profound shift from suffering alone to actually thriving together.
So here is our roadmap for decoding this whole model today. First, we'll look at the medical poverty trap, then the cooperative solution, followed by the blueprint structure. After that, we'll look at the revenue engine, how to scale the impact, and finally, we'll wrap up with the regional opportunity.
Starting with Section 1, the medical poverty trap, and the frankly devastating cycle of out-of-pocket healthcare. So when the vast majority of people are informal workers, farmers, or market traders who don't have formal employer-sponsored insurance, a really vicious cycle takes over. Just a single illness wipes out entire life savings. And because hospital costs are just so incredibly daunting, people delay getting treatment. Tragically, because of that delay, completely preventable illnesses end up becoming fatal. The gap here is massive, and honestly, the demand for a real fix couldn't be more urgent.
That brings us to Section 2, the cooperative solution. This is a remarkably simple, community-owned answer to that exact problem.
Think about it like this. One person alone, they probably can't afford a massive hospital bill. But what if 5,000 people pool their resources together, contributing just a tiny, tiny fraction of that cost every single month? Everything changes. The community collectively covers any individual's healthcare costs, so nobody has to go bankrupt. It's basically insurance, community ownership, and guaranteed healthcare, all rolled into one amazing system.
And the mechanics here are radically simple. Like anybody can understand this. Step 1, everyday people contribute small, completely affordable amounts. Step 2, the cooperative securely pools all that money together. And Step 3, whenever a member actually gets sick, they receive the healthcare support they need directly from that shared fund. It is pooling risk in its absolute purest, most human form.
Now, the ultimate goal here goes way beyond just selling an insurance policy. It's really about fundamentally empowering the farmers, the traders, and the families who actually own the institution. They aren't just customers in this model, They are the active stakeholders of a system that is intentionally built to lift them out of poverty.
Okay, let's move to Section 3, the blueprint structure. We are going to look under the hood of the legal and capital framework here.
To actually build a safe house for the community's money, you've got to have a very specific structure to keep everything secure and, of course, legal. Think of it like a house with 4 separate rooms. First, you have the cooperative, which is owned by the members and collects the funds. Then you have a holding company, which protects the big ideas and founder equity. Next, a health management company that strictly handles the doctors, the provider networks, and the claims. And finally, a tech company running the mobile apps and payment systems. It's a brilliantly modular and deeply secure setup.
And this exact separation of powers proves that this isn't just some charity, not at all. It is a tightly run, heavily regulated financial machine. By isolating all these different jobs, you ensure absolute protection for the community's money and for potential investors. It prevents any founder conflicts of interest, and it guarantees strict compliance with both healthcare and corporate laws.
Financially speaking, this model is just fascinating. You don't have to build massive physical factories, right? So day-to-day operational assets are kept really low. However, because it's an insurance business at its core, you absolutely must hold a massive amount of cash in reserve. Why? Well, so that if 100 people happen to get sick tomorrow, that money is instantly guaranteed to be there to cover them.
Which naturally leads us to Section 4, the revenue engine. Let's break down how this model actually generates structurally sound returns. So this system relies on multiple, solid streams of recurring revenue. Community membership premiums are, for sure, the primary highly predictable engine here. But it doesn't stop there. The model also generates cash by establishing corporate plans for employers, charging administrative fees, licensing its tech platform out to governments, and forming strategic healthcare partnerships. It's a very robust mix.
Make no mistake, this is not some speculative hype trend. It's a proven, cash flow positive business model. It powerfully leverages Africa's deeply rooted cultural trust in local cooperatives, village unions, and religious groups. And because people already trust these existing local networks, the growth happens incredibly fast. As more and more people join the risk pool, the whole system becomes vastly more financially efficient, and those margins really start to soar.
All right, Section 5, Scaling the Impact. How do we expand the safety net across different demographics?
The potential customer base here is huge. It spans from everyday families working in the informal economy all the way up to massive institutional partners. We're talking about agricultural cooperatives wanting to protect their farmers, large religious organizations looking out for their congregations, development NGOs, and even state governments that want to subsidize care. The total addressable market is, quite frankly, staggering.
And just look at how this builds over time into a highly attractive long-term business. In years 1 through 3, it's all about driving technology adoption and growing that network effect. Then, by years 4 to 7, that massive scale starts to attract major strategic mergers or private equity buyouts. And long-term, look at year 8 and beyond. It generates the kind of stable, predictable dividend cash flow that investors absolutely love, which could easily pave the way for an IPO.
Finally, Section 6, a regional opportunity. We're looking beyond borders at the massive Pan-African vision.
Now, while healthcare regulations obviously remain strictly national, the underlying technology and its entire structural blueprint can absolutely scale across the entire continent. Right now, we are looking at a highly fragmented reality, with millions of uninsured local populations isolated by national borders. But the future? The future is unified. By leveraging smart foreign incorporation and the African Continental Free Trade Area, this exact blueprint can literally be copy-pasted to solve the exact same problems in neighboring countries. It's a game changer.
This massive opportunity is out there just waiting for the right partners, investors, and communities to step up. We've broken down just how simple, profitable, and profoundly impactful this model is for everyday families in the most accessible terms possible. So the only real question left is, how will you be a part of the structurally sound, long-term healthcare revolution across Africa? Whether you're an investor, a developer, or a community leader, this revolution needs you. Reach out, dive deeper into the blueprint, and ask yourself, if we have the tools to end medical poverty today, what is stopping us from starting right now?